Welcome to Snug Life with Tomo,
Sean,
and Gaz.
Lads, before we get kicking off here, quick one. Have you lads ever you got like IVs and stuff? I think we were talking about it before. I can't handle needles.
Oh, dude.
I really
I'm getting
struggle.
so bad. I faint all the time when I see blood.
Really?
Oh my god. Okay, I'm not the only one.
No. And then I've Googled it. So like 15% of the population, and it's way more men, have this thing where their blood pressure drops on the side of like heavy blood. So like me, when I have to go and give blood, like I need to have like 2 or 3 hours of like heavy eating done. Like I need like body full of grub, lie down on a bed, like head facing away. They need to like just talk absolute shit to me the whole time.
Is it the blood, Gaz? Or is it the needle?
Yeah.
Because for me, it's the feeling of the needle,
Makes you
and my
woozy.
blood pressure just drops.
Yeah.
Completely.
For me, it's blood, but same thing. So I can go to the dentist now. I used to get psyched out with the dentist and the needle. Now I'm sweet.
But you have loads of blood.
I don't know what it is, T. Honest to God, it's the weirdest thing. So like,
I'm not the only one, at least.
it just.
I was quite embarrassed.
Did you faint?
She couldn't get the. Well, no. So she messed up. So she went in and then she tried to flush it out, but she missed the like connecting into the vein, so it had to all come out. And she was like, "Oh, I'm gonna have to try again and use the other arm." I couldn't. I was done. Had to get a refund and say I'll come back another day. It was.
Fuck, so you didn't even get your
I
IV?
hate it, and I'm getting worse.
Dude, I'm the same.
Not only was your hangover not relieved, you were walking out of there with a big bruised arm and fucking half a bag of
exactly.
blood out of you.
Oh, it's terrible.
No, Sean, I'm the
I'm
same.
getting worse though. I'm getting worse at it. So
One thing
just wanted
I've
to bring that up.
I'm going to try is like putting myself through more stress outside of that, right? So like I'm going to start trying to do like cold, like sea swims and cold showers.
Oh, those type
And
of
actually,
stresses.
yeah, and like probably harder workouts, because I've just literally been running and yoga for like 2 years now, and like I don't go that hard when I train and running. I go actually very unhard. So I think my body, my mind has gone soft, if that makes sense.
Right, so that's hence.
Not the body.
hence the
Not the
fainting.
body. The
Body's
body's
very
for.
pudgy. But I just thought you'd take that for granted. You know me so well, right? I didn't think that had to be said. But no, yeah, honestly. So that's my next thing, because I have the exact same thing, and it's gotten so bad lately.
Well, there you have it.
Oh, I actually have a little story. So,
Oh, here we go.
so I'm out with the dog in the car, bringing him for a walk 3 or 4 days ago, and he likes to stick the head out the window. Fairly cavalier. I have a little strap for him, just in case, because it's bumpy out there. We're in St. Margaret's, but anyway, I'm driving down out to Swords, going to Swords Manor, and my dog at some point. I hear this noise. I hear this little kind of flapping at the back window, and I'm like, what the fuck is that? I look in the wing mirror, and the dog is fully out the window, being held on by just a harness, and his legs are just... Now, he didn't bark. He didn't yelp. He didn't make a fucking sound. He was just flapping around out there like, don't mind me, I'm all right, I got this. And just, thankfully,
That is wild.
Thankfully, we're on a back road. Thankfully, he's strapped up. Thankfully, he didn't fall out of a moving vehicle, but he very nearly did. So,
Did you just see him in your wing
yeah,
mirror?
so I hear this noise, and I'm like, I must be like brushing against a bush or something here, So if the if the DSPCA are listening, I'm in trouble.
What did you do? Did you just bang on the brakes?
I obviously stopped the car and got out and took his little harness thing. Thankfully, because the harness was quite strong, it's like a little bungee cord thing. He didn't it didn't rip or anything, so he didn't really hit the ground at all. But what I'm laughing about is I get out, I unhook him, and he's like bouncing around ready for me to throw a ball from him. Like, man, like literally there's no like, man, what just happened? Like, dude, that was so close. There's none of that. He's just like, all right, we off for a walk, are you?
On to the next.
Arnie by name, Arnie by nature.
Yep, that's definitely what it is. So
I
anyway,
can't help but think, had he not had the harness, Tomo,
Oh my God!
How
Guys,
long would you have driven
Without your dog.
not only just that, like the horrible, and I don't want to go into it, but the mental images of just what could have happened without that harness, not even worth
for
thinking
sure.
about. My God, the fear. But anyway, look, he's a good boy. He's sitting behind me on the couch. Everything's fine. It was just a very funny moment of abrupt
What's the
panic.
lesson? What's the lesson learned here? Did you was the window too low?
The window was too low, and I wouldn't mind. Funny, my girlfriend had told me that the window was too low probably about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was like, no, the window's not too low. And then Mark also told me separately that he goes, man, that window looks a bit low. He doesn't look too safe there. And I'm like, look at him. Look at how happy he is. He's got that. He's like Apocalypse Now in the helicopter, you know, fucking Creedence Clearwater playing like, born red, you know. Yeah. Red, white, and blue.
Turns out it was too low.
Have you admitted to either of these
both,
that it was
both
in fact
separate? So there's one thing you probably know this about me. I'm a foolish man. I make bad decisions all the time, but I'm very quick to admit them afterwards. At least I like to think I am.
It's a real charm of yours, yeah.
So anyway,
lesson learned.
Public service announcement: keep your windows up and get good harnesses because you never know when you might actually need them. Mm-hmm. To be fair, you took all the right
and listen
steps.
to good advice. Listen to good advice, I think.
Listen to your other halves.
Nearest and dearest.
Men, listen to your women. Yeah.
And listen to your women.
Even if you don't agree in front of them.
Well, not your women. We don't own them, guys.
Sorry. Different your... Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Even if you don't agree in person, go sneak out the back there and raise the window a little.
Gary, anything from you, Gary, for last week?
Nothing big.
Any messing?
No messing. Very, very tame. Just working away, keeping the head down. Bought a couch, doing a bit of adulting. Yeah,
Very nice.
Good man.
Couches take so long. You go
So
in,
long.
you sit in it, you're like, I'll have it. Now, IKEA's obviously fucked with us. And they're like, yeah, no, you're not getting that one. We're going to make your one in whatever, Singapore, China. And you'll get
have it in a few
just
months.
in time for Christmas. And you're like, oh, sweet. Just like, that's a nice thing to hear. But you're like, wait, Christmas is fucking ages away.
Man, when I moved in here, I had to get a couch and but it was, the whole apartment was empty. So they said, yeah, you'll have it in a few months. I was like, what happens in the meantime? So then I had to rent a couch from them.
They absolutely.
Oh my God, it's a racket.
They seen you coming.
It's a racket.
It is. So they're like, yeah, don't worry, you'll have your couch in 6 months. But in the meantime, for a low premium.
Speaking of rackets and racketeering.
I copped that too, Sean. I was like, is it a bit too on the nose? But yeah. Fucking Sean, do you want to bring us into the next topic? The topic of the week.
This topic of the week, drum roll, is P. Diddy's fall from grace. And there's a lot of layers to peel back on this onion.
Oh, it's a juicy onion. It's a horrible onion. It's a really nasty onion.
Onions known for their juiciness.
Lots of tears.
Lots of tears.
Yeah. No, but
lots of tears.
I was trying to read on it today, right? There's literally in the last 18 months or whatever, it all started, there was a big snowball at the start of people coming out and taking him to court basically for drugging and rape and all sorts of mad stories that probably don't want to get too into here, but because obviously we don't know enough about it. But at the moment, there's 11 individual lawsuits against him that are all of that team, horrible shit, plus the federal charge of racketeering, among other things, sex trafficking, drug trafficking. When they raided his house, the 1,000 bottles of baby oil, all the sex toys, the assault rifles.
That's a dead giveaway. It's dead giveaway.
Video came out recently of him like domestic violence against his partner at the time, but she can't press charges. She's already taken him to court. Actually, that was one of the first ones. Cassie, he was going out for years. And then there was another one that took him to court. I think the first lawsuit that went in, the following day he settled out of court for like $30 million or something. Literally the day after.
Wow.
And did you hear now, speaking of 30 mil, did you hear they refused this bail twice?
Yeah.
And it was, I think, 50 mil?
Yeah. Well, they offered 50 million.
What happens to bail money? Like, where does it actually go?
The guesswork, basically. If remember Dog the Bounty Hunter? His whole gig was your significant other, fiance, dad, whatever, goes to county jail. And you need to post bond, but you don't have cash because that's not who Dog's clientele is. And you got a dog and he's like, what's the bail? 10 grand. Okay, I'll give you 10 grand now. You give me 12, 20, whatever it is, whatever the risk profile is.
Is that a bondsman? Is that what they call a bail bondsman?
Bail bond,
Exactly,
okay.
right? So then Dog goes to the jail, which you pays the bail money. But the deal is you have to then turn up for your court date or your significant other, whoever. If you don't, you've skipped bail and the bail money's gone. And the dog, yeah. So then that's why the dog becomes a bounty hunter.
Send in the dog.
Wild shit, man. But here, can I take it back to this? So there's all these accusations going on. So he knows they're onto him, and he still leaves 1,000 bottles of oil in his gaff. Surely you'd think.
You would expect.
Hard to explain that, right?
I think,
lawyer.
No matter what.
I think listen, maybe it's a case of the man and just having gone so far down the road that you just can't.
Now, like, he's been getting away with this for a very long time, right? So he's also like this big gangster going around. Like, there's theories that he was the one who called a hit on Tupac and Biggie, and he's been this.
We'll get there. We gotta get there.
The lawyer, if you haven't heard it, his lawyer's reasoning for why he had 1,000 bottles of baby oil was because there's a Costco down the road, and Americans love buying things in bulk. And I think it was like,
oh yeah, he loves a good deal.
It was like Forbes, or wherever I read it. A BBC or one of them rang Costco and were like, do you guys sell, like what is the bulk order of baby oil? They're like, we don't sell baby oil.
Oh, stop.
Unbelievable.
Oh, the dude was probably going straight to Johnson & Johnson.
I mean, for us to believe that P. Diddy just needs a good deal. He's always out there for any good deal. Like, really? He's struggling, is he?
He's always buying everything in bulk.
Known for it.
He's a bulk buyer.
What do P. Diddy and Sean O'Leary have in common?
Now, hold on, guys. What are you trying to do here?
Right. I didn't expect the topic to take this.
Yeah, I thought we were trying to avoid lawsuits.
We were friends.
No, this is not bad. But yeah, apparently at the end of all of his, or at the end of those, what do they call them, freak parties or freak outs or something?
Freakouts.
He'd have to have like nurses come in and administer IV drips to everybody because they'd be so like
no way.
Fucked up. He was like forcing them to take all sorts of narcotics. They'd run for days. Like they weren't. He wasn't making sure they were eating 3 meals a day, right? He was making sure they were eating grams and grams of all sorts of stuff, right? Like ecstasy, opioids, and then
but who do you think was it? Like, this is where it gets juicy, right? It's like he was making them, but it wouldn't be just him at these parties.
Yeah.
And this is where I like who.
It's a bit Epstein Island, right?
For sure. And there's only a few people actually really coming out to really go after him on this, which makes you think, begs the question, if everyone's so silent, I don't know. But 50 Cent's having a serious crack at him, which I'm really enjoying
He's
watching.
produced a TV show and Netflix have bought the rights.
Netflix bought it.
50's had beef with Diddy.
He's had beef for a while, yeah.
He used to always make jokes that he was like watch your ass around Diddy kind of stuff. Like was his kind of thing.
Right.
And anyway, they had this thing, and as these cases start coming out, 50 Cent, who owns a big production company now through that, he's got that TV show Power and a couple of other things.
Yeah.
Like he's legit, right? He's got a business there that knows how to do this, and he started putting this thing into production. There was a massive bidding war, and Netflix won it. There was obviously a lot of pressure on Netflix winning it. They only won it recently, and they're like, "What's it gonna be?" And he's like, "I don't know. As all these cases keep coming out, I'm just gonna have to keep adding episodes. It's just writing itself. This thing, it's just growing and growing.
So it's not finished yet.
No, it hasn't even like." I don't think they even know exactly what it's going to look like. I don't know if they've even.
Okay, good, because there's a lot to. I mean, we don't know half of it, so I mean, I don't think a premature documentary. I've seen the name of it, by the way. You like this?
What's it called?
Diddy Do It.
That's unbelievable.
Well done. Well done.
Diddy Do It.
50 is a wordsmith.
50 cents.
He didn't get where he got fucking not knowing how to put a few words together.
That's classic.
Diddy Do It. It's unbelievable.
See this prison he's in? It's the same one where like Ghislaine Maxwell went. The Sam Bankman-Fried, or Kelly, and it's pretty rough, man.
Yeah.
Two inmates like have been killed in the past few months. There's been a lot of shit going down. They're saying that he's on suicide watch, but also that he won't eat the food in case it's poisoned. I'm like, well,
they don't marry up.
They do contradict. Which one is it?
I don't live anymore, but that looks dodgy. That looks a little bit off. I don't know about that now. That chicken looks a little funny.
But yeah, so something I think we're gonna have to come back to, because it's crazy. Like, and
Diddy Watch.
Literally,
we'll have a Diddy Watch section.
Diddy Watch, yeah. Like the Daily Mail has a whole section dedicated to it because it's so live. There's literally every couple of days another like supermodel, actress, TV star comes out and is like, "Oh yeah, him and his mate drugged me and tied me up," and like horrible shit.
I think the most interesting part of this is when this all unravels. Are we going to get to the bottom of who killed Tupac Shakur?
We might,
because this is going to be.
That's the next leg to this.
Because I remember seeing a while ago that there was one shooting, the shooting before he got killed, and he called out Diddy for it. So, like, and there's videos of Tupac blaming Puff at the time, and. Oh, that is going to be the center of the onion, I feel.
Well, just for the listeners who aren't across this, that is not actually part of this case at all, but hopefully as part of the investigation.
That's part of my investigation.
Yeah, and I'm sure 50 has a theory or two. He might dig it out for us.
And I think, would lyrics in his songs add to the case against him? I wonder if you look back at Diddy tunes and him.
I'll be watching you, maybe not the best of covers, but that was Sting first, so maybe we need to have a call with him too. Maybe people need to look into Sting after this, because
not
Diddy
Sting.
No.
Sting, you are welcome. You are welcome to join.
He's mates with the police though, so he's protected. He's mates with the police.
That's true.
It's Sting and the police.
Man.
It's not just Sting.
It's Sting.
He's got them in his pocket.
Sting and the feds.
I just think they're all going down. Hollywood's going down, man, and this is going to be the most interesting thing ever. Jay-Z,
they're all
Beyonce, J-Lo.
But you see, he had them white parties that everybody would go to, and he had that big one for his it was his 30th anniversary since his first album or something. So it was his 30th celebrity birthday or whatever. The latest white party. The who's who of Hollywood is there. Now, I don't think there's going to be another one, obviously, but it's so fickle.
Look,
Same.
lads, there's some.
It's crazy.
There's something up if McGregor thinks he's a lunatic. Like,
Is this true?
there's levels to
I haven't
this game,
seen
you
this.
know.
Were you talking to Connor or?
No. There's a clip of him years ago saying how he didn't like Diddy. So what do you think in terms of, you know, the Diddy thing? We'll be back to this. I am sure in a few months we're going to have another podcast of what's been going on because it's all unraveling. And I was just thinking, you know, how many others have we had? How many other fall from grace? Like, do you remember that? I'm not sure if you are NFL fans, but the Netflix documentary was class on your man Aaron Hernandez.
Yes, yeah, the CTE
I didn't
thing.
watch it.
Oh,
Oh, it was incredible.
it's worth watching, man.
What's CTE?
It's basically some sort of brain trauma that there's basically a link now, guys, that in this documentary and several other things that there's been a number of high profile sports people, particularly in American football, that have ended up in like violent incidents after their career. And the idea being that you're, so you know the way your frontal lobe, it's like the last part of your brain to develop for men in particular. It's kind of a lot, it controls a lot of your, you know, decision making, your critical reasoning, aggression, all those kind of things. They're finding that, I think with Hernandez, they did brain scans and he had severe damage to his frontal cortex. Steve McNair, the Titans quarterback who got shot by his girlfriend, had a very similar thing, and he was apparently involved in all sorts of weird stuff. The point being,
The girlfriend was perfectly fine, though.
yes, the girlfriend was fine. But,
The one that pulled the
but
trigger.
God knows what he,
No
God knows
CTE.
what he had done. Anyway, point being, there's a look now, and the thought might be that we might look at these people that, you know, in these horribly violent incidents in 10, 15 years' time as being people that had illnesses themselves, you know, and that didn't really have the full whereabouts to say, okay, I shouldn't get in this violent incident. You know what I mean? Anyway, it's really interesting.
Man, Diddy should hire you as his lawyer.
I should, right? I talk a good
Diddy
talk.
should hire Tomo as a lawyer. Has Diddy played any pro
I'll
sports?
take the case. It's not.
Expert witness called to the stand.
Well, I got a pretty busy week this week, but I can squeeze them in.
Very well explained, Tomo. Very well explained.
Look, I'm
Thank
no
you.
expert. I'm no expert. However,
And just for the listeners, what's the name of the show on Netflix?
The Hernandez show. Fuck, that's a good question, guys.
oh, that's a good one.
Aaron Hernandez.
I don't know. I'm genuinely asking because I'm going to watch it.
It's a very interesting
We
watch.
should probably be giving names of stuff that we are talking about.
And yeah, Chris Benoit. That's a wild one.
Yeah,
that
and like
is.
when you put them together, there's a few of those cases around.
I think it's called The Mind of Aaron Hernandez.
Killer Inside, the mind of Aaron Hernandez is what I'm getting here.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's gone on the list.
It's quite, just because I've never really heard much of that whole argument about brain trauma and how that can affect people's ability to reason and control their aggression and stuff like that. There could be something there. Anyway, it's interesting.
Well, then your man Chris Benoit would probably fit
in that
perfectly
category,
in
'cause
that.
you're getting
I don't know about Tiger Woods. I'm not sure if golf really is that
Arduous.
impacting.
But this is what I was going to say, right? Like,
Where do you
so
draw the line?
Jerry, for those who don't know, is my dad would be involved in criminal cases. But they had a saying in the guards, was it mad or bad?
Right.
So were they mad, as in mental, or were they just bad bastards? And you...
Was he mad? He's mad.
Was he bad?
Like Michael Collins at the turf. And what does he know? Fucking deadly. But
I like that though.
But yeah, mad or bad.
Do you remember the chap Like, I actually can't remember what your man Pistorius did.
Oscar,
You know,
okay,
the
there's-
Oscar... What did he do again?
he was Paralympian, wasn't he? He killed his wife.
Yeah, killed his wife.
So he was
Shot-
actually convicted, right?
Yeah. He shot her through a bathroom door.
Okay.
And his defense was that he thought it was an intruder who locked themselves in his bathroom. So to defend himself, he shot them through the door.
Yeah, but wasn't there some drama about him? Like, I remember seeing he was released, and people were saying he shouldn't be released.
No. The case went on for years and years and years. Sorry, for months and months. It was like Sky News had
Okay.
like a daily thing, and he did get convicted. He may have been released since.
Yeah, maybe. That seems like a while ago, right?
Yeah.
He's just, I don't think there's any brain injury in his case, right, either. I think he was, well,
again, we don't know. And we're not qualified to talk on it.
But we will anyway.
Well, Tomo is.
Yeah, I've watched a few documentaries, guys.
And Sean, you brought this one up in the WhatsApp. Lance Armstrong.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I think that is the best one.
That was fucked, man. Like, speaking about, like, a time in our life, we literally ran around with these yellow bands. I wasn't even into cycling. I don't think I ever watched it once. But I was like, oh, these bands, you know, are good for cancer.
It's a good cause here.
I mean, and it still was a good cause. In fairness, it was built based off a lie, but it was a good cause.
No, fuck cancer, man. They lied to us.
They all lied to us. That was, like, well, he had great documentaries. Well, I guess they weren't his.
Yeah,
they were made of him.
And shout out Paul Kimmage, the Irish journalist who was dogging him for years and ended up in the courts, and I think really ruined his career and stuff, trying to get to the truth of what Lance was actually up to. But like, what Lance did to people was fucked up to protect himself. Now, obviously, he didn't kill anybody that we know of, but still, it was like systematic.
Same attitude, man. Same attitude. Yeah. It's the same power, control. You know, untouchable. It's just the same. Rhetoric,
there is an interesting thing though with the, and now look, I'm not trying to defend Lance Armstrong here, but well, I am a little bit. It seems like a sport that was doping
rife.
Yeah, like as in if you didn't dope, you weren't competitive.
It was kind of, was he just doping better?
No, I don't even know if he's just doping better, but I think he just was the fall guy because he was so outspoken and so anti-dope. Like he was so, you know, determined to prove that he wasn't doping, and obviously with the, you know, the Live Strong, was it Live Strong, the wristbands or whatever they were. Yeah, he set himself up for a fall. But from what I gather from, like, you've seen the Icarus project thing about the Russian, it seems to be
that was class.
Just a sport, or even just a lot of these athletic sports. There seems to be a lot of doping in them. It seems to be part of the course.
You'd imagine if you were one of the lads doping like they all were, you were probably like, Lance, shut the fuck up. Like, why are you getting so popular here? You're pushing. Eventually, there's too many eyes on you. Because that's basically what happened. But they were doing some system of like removing blood and adding blood. It was mad shit. Yeah, it wasn't just like doping. Very
vampirical, wasn't it, at some point?
Yeah, exactly. They were carrying like bags of blood around.
And I think a lot of the people that came forward admitted that there was doping and they had been doping, but it was just the odd injection of EPO or whatever. But Lance and the gang developed, and whatever the doctor's name was, developed the system for draining the blood in advance of the testing and replacing it with blood that they had taken from you months and months and months in advance that was clean. So you'd put your clean blood back in, and then there was a guy that went like, he took a piss in the jacks and it was like black, and he went and told the doctor, and they realised they put someone else's blood back into him. Like there was all these horrible scaldy stories. So I don't think it was the standard practice. I think he was just the bleeding edge of the doping.
It's crazy. All just to move a bit quicker on two wheels. Bizarre world
try
we live
it next
in.
time we're going for a cycle. Just bring a little bag of blood with you and just see how you get on.
Bag it.
Yeah, off for the half marathon today, lads. Wish me luck.
Oh, Tomo.
Well, you won't have me or Gar administering it.
Me and Sean would be
Gar would
asleep
pass
on
out.
the floor and looking at that bag of blood, Tomo.
Can you imagine you and I trying to dope? Gar, we'd be trying to dope on the thing, fucking behind the van on the Tour de France, passed out.
Whimpering, sweating profusely.
We wouldn't have made it. We wouldn't have cut it.
Not a hope. Not a fucking hope, Sean. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next one.